Thank you very much for joining us for the virtual award ceremony of the Autodesk Digital Construction Challenge UK. I will shortly give you an overview over the agenda, what we're going to talk about today. I have the honor to do the opening and talk a little bit about the competition and our experience, also why and how we did it. After that, we're going to talk about the industry alignment. Then we're diving deeper into Worldskills. There's going to be 3 subsections. So what is Worldskills? The Worldskills UK BIM competition. And also we're having a student presenting the perspective from her side. Then additionally, we're talking about certification. And then I'm shortly going to summarize what we have talked about. And after this, we are directly jumping into presenting the awards to everybody. These are our speakers today, and thank you very much for the speakers for your time and availability. We know it's late in the evening on a Friday night and everybody is spending a lot of time in front of Zoom and digitally. So first of all, we are going to have Alisder from Baker Hicks. He's a senior BIM coordinator, present the industry alignment. Then we're going to have Aylett Smith talking about what is Worldskills. He is the head of national competitions and careers within Worldskills. So thanks very much, Dee, for joining us today. Then we're going to dive deeper into Worldskills with Michael McGuire. Michael is going to talk specifically about the Worldskills BIM competition. He is a lecturer at New College Lanarkshire and as well the training manager for Worldskills UK for the BIM competition. Then we have Minahil or Mona. Mona is currently a trainee at Baker Hicks and also a member of Squad UK. So she will talk about the student perspective, but participating in the competition and the benefits of that. And last but not least, we have Breen. Breen is a senior territory manager for Prodigy Learning, and he's going to share insights on the Autodesk certifications. Alrighty, so speakers, if you like, you don't need to have your camera on all the time. I'm shortly going to give everybody a run through. First of all, I want to start off the Worldskills UK BIM competition. We embarked on that journey a couple of years ago. So it's actually, I think now the 3rd year in this cycle. And what you're seeing here on the left side is the Worldskills BIM competition last year. So it was at the NEC in Birmingham, a really big event. And I will have Dee further talk about that in a second. And on the right-hand side, you see also the award ceremony, which was taking place. So it's really a phenomenal experience. What did we do really? So in February, March, we had already, I think, 40 plus registrations for the Worldskills UK digital construction and BIM competition. In July, Worldskills has postponed the Worldskills event to next year, which was the very right decision in the situation which we currently are in. Then what we had to do basically is to kind of reflect, are we going to proceed or are we going to just postpone to next year? And in a call together with all the educators whose students were participating in the competition, we made the decision to proceed. In this call, also one outcome is that we need learning materials in order to equip students to learn what is needed for the competition at home. From September to October, Michael McGuire has been working really day and night to put together a curriculum for enabling students to learn all the different tasks which need to be completed for this competition here. And then in mid-October, we announced the first Autodesk Digital Construction Challenge, which is based on the Worldskills BIM framework. So it's all coming together in that perspective. And this is how it went really. So I really have to thank all of your students who have participated. It was really a fantastic experience. Everybody joined online on last Saturday for a 4-hour live competition. Students have been basically creating BIM models, and after creating BIM models, they have been managed in BIM 360. And also, additionally, there was a specific clash detection tasks. So students were looking for specific problems in the models and performing clashes. So it's a very, very great end-to-end competition, which students have completed really amazingly. In terms of the attendees, we had in total 25 participants who logged in and worked on the project from 9 UK institutions. This competition would not have been possible without the help of really everybody. So first of all, thanks to Michael McGuire, who has been absolutely phenomenal managing the whole competition, answering all the questions, being on WhatsApp, supporting the students where best fit. And then also the educators who stayed on the whole Saturday to proctor the students and also stay on for the marking, which was Noah, Salib, Michael Farraga, James Charlton, Jeff Oldner, Francis, and Mo. And then this was the educators who were supporting directly on the day of the event. But again, it would not have been possible without the educators who have been actively promoting this competition to the students. So this was Sid, Paul Coates, Jason Underwood, David Komsky, Mark Kane, Justin Robbins, Mark Shelburne, Elham, Mark Kelly, Zulfikar, Jenny and Simon, Karen Blay, and Danny McGough. So thank you again also for your absolutely great engagement and sharing this opportunity with your student community. And I will also thank very much Worldskills, because Worldskills has been really a trusted partner. We've been strongly working together to explore opportunities, how we can share this best practice, which we have created here with the broader community. And thanks here, Andy Knight, Mark Poland, and Gavin Miller for all your support here. What you see underneath here is from this week's International Worldskills Summit, where Michael and I were able to present our perspectives on it and experiences from the competition. And then I shortly want to talk about the prizes. So as you know, I have mysteriously always mentioned a work from home kit for the first 3 places. What the work from home kit really is a camera, is additionally a headset, and also a keyboard and a mouse. All of them are really top of the line from Logitech, and those will be shipped directly to you for the first 3 places. However, what I'm saying also is that everybody is a winner. So everybody who participated in the competition last Saturday will be getting an Autodesk Certified Professional exam voucher for free. These certifications have a value of around $150 US, and they should support you in further enhancing your skills. What we are having, or what we are providing here, is as well a free learning tutorial path. So you can go through these tutorials, and then you can book the exam directly from home. And then you can share also this achievement via your social media channels. Additionally, what everybody who participated will get is a certificate of participation. The first 3 places will get a certificate based upon that ranks, and the other ones will get a certification of participation, or a certificate of participation. Last but not least, what I would ask everybody, if you don't have it already, to install a QR code reader. We're going to use QR codes throughout the day today. In this way, I want to pause a little bit and hand it over to Alisder to talk about Baker Hicks and the opportunity which has been created through the competition for Baker Hicks in terms of employability.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name's Alisder Brown. I'm the Senior BIM Information Manager at Baker Hicks. I've been involved, I've worked alongside Michael and Phil probably the last 2 to 3 years, kind of providing a supporting role from an industry point of view in the development of the BIM competitions for the Worldskills UK. I've also had the privilege of being the judge at the last 2 final competitions down at the NEC, which has been fantastic. It's been a great opportunity for myself and for Baker Hicks to get first-hand experience of the skills and the appetite of all the students towards BIM over the last 2 years. So I was involved in the marketing of this competition. So this competition is no different. It's very challenging, and I'd like to say well done for everybody for taking part, as we know it's not an easy challenge. So I'd like to kick off with a presentation just to go through Baker Hicks, what we are. So hopefully everyone can see that. So at Baker Hicks, we are part of Morgan Sindall Group, which is quite a big umbrella company, if you want, in the UK. So we're made up of 9 separate companies. We're just shy of 7,000 employees. We're at turnover of just over 3 billion per year, and the services that the different companies offer range from property services, construction infrastructure, fit out, investment, and us, Baker Hicks. So Baker Hicks in particular, we have over 13 offices throughout the UK and Europe. Our main headquarters are in Warwick, and we've got quite a lot of offices over in the DACH region in Europe, and our headquarters there is Basel in Switzerland. We've just over 1,000 employees, which is quite impressive considering when I started 5 years ago, there was 550 employees. So we're expanding quite rapidly, which is great. Just over £90 million turnover, and we've been around for about 60 odd years, 1959 roughly, where we were created. So Baker Hicks, we range from quite a lot of disciplines internally, from architecture to project management, process engineering, and most importantly, BIM, which is my sector. So Baker Hicks have probably, I think it's 3 years ago, achieved the BIM Level 2 accreditation by the BSI in line with 1182 standards, and more recently just finished our audit for the re-accreditation in line with the ISO 19650 standards. And BIM for us is an integral part of pretty much everything we do, our day-to-day lives. So information management, which is the role that I'm coming from, we are involved with every discipline in a project, whether it's all internal Baker Hicks or external companies providing whatever services. We manage the project as a whole. It's not just what you might be familiar with, the individual discipline BIM coordinators. We manage the whole process, every project team from, and we communicate with client and contractor and facilities management as well. And the key part for us and why this is so important is the ability to provide the right information at the right time to allow better decision making, either from a construction point of view or from a client point of view. And to achieve that, there's quite a lot of things that need done, and part of the process that we manage is really split into a few sections, which I'm going to cover just now. So when it comes down to geometry reviews, this is very important that you have the right tools for the job. So we, throughout the whole of Baker Hicks and the Morgan Sindall companies as well, we utilise the Autodesk AEC collection for all our software. So from a design point of view, we use Revit pretty much in every single project. Civil 3D sometimes, depending on what the project is. And from a coordination, federation and clash detection point of view, it's Navisworks. When it comes to collaboration and sharing and common data environment and design team coordination, we use BIM 360 now. This is quite important because these are also the tools that if you were taking part in the challenge or in the Worldskills competitions, this is what's used in the competitions, and it's for a reason. It's because that's what's predominantly used in the industry. Most companies, most projects that we work on, it's Revit, Navisworks, and BIM 360 being used for coordination. So it's a key part of the project workflow is the geometry reviews, and something that's really important to that is cost saving. So through these geometry reviews, clash detections and quality assurance checks to kind of validate constructability of a building, we've had exercises carried out by QSs on projects that actually cost these issues that we're flagging up to see, like, if that went to site, how much would that cost the client or how much would that cost the contractor. So just an example, these 2 issues were on the one project to the same review is 16 odd grand. We find anywhere between 50 and 100 of these issues every review, and which is pretty much every month per project. Some of them are minor, some of them are fairly major, so it's a key part, and it's why this process is so important, is really to save money and improve the process on projects. Another key part is data, and this is really my forte. This is where I focus. As I say, that the I in BIM is the most important, and it's especially true as an information manager. So we're involved throughout the whole process of the project, from early client engagement, defining what the asset requirements are, and this is key in the BIM process, because we need to make sure that the client, you as an information manager or a designer, need to understand the client requirements when it comes to data input, so that we know what's valuable to the client, what they're going to actually be able to use, and what ties in with the facilities management, the CAFM systems that they're using post handover. And this is really important because something like 60 to 80% of a building's cost is in the operational phase, so after construction is complete. So even though it's maybe a £100 million project, it's way more than that to operate that building over its life cycle of 60 to 100 years, whatever it is. So getting this information right and making sure it's useful and usable and also manageable, which is something that's quite important. And we're not just giving them all the data, we're giving them what's useful to them and what they can actually use. We don't want to overflow them with too much data. So it's really important to us is to get this information right, and this is why this also falls in part of the competition, is the COBE information side of things. Because we're essentially wanting to go from this to this, which is essentially a data-rich asset information model alongside the project information model. And big benefits of this for the client is they can go in if they want to do reworks or renovations. They can go in, they've got their model, as-built information, in terms of if they want to produce plans, visuals, all that type of stuff, along with analysing the data if they need to refit lights. They know what light types they've got in the different rooms, they know what radiators they've got, they know what capacity the ventilation system's got, whatever it is, all that information is withheld within the model. And that's the end goal for any BIM project, is to make sure that you get a useful asset of this standard to the client at handover. And it also ties into stuff you might not be overly aware of. So when it comes to risk is a really key part of projects. And traditionally this is done just spreadsheet format when it comes to designers' risk registers. Key part of BIM is there's a new standard, newish, last couple of years for health and safety and CDM within the BIM environment. So having these BIM projects, we've got the capability to add this information in both visually, as you can see, a big red cube. So when we're federating these models together for our reviews with either the client or contractor, we can see where all these risks are, so it's much easier to identify them in the 3D models. You've got the capability to do it. Plus these objects, these cubes, can then be pumped up with the asset information, with the risk information associated to them, which can then produce a live database, which is a lot more intelligent than what's currently getting done on most projects using the traditional process. This information is also plugged into the COBE spreadsheet, into the issues tab. Having all of these models allows you to carry out quite detailed analysis of everything. So using add-ins in Revit, for instance, we can output what we call health checks, and it's checking stuff like duplicate elements, how many warnings are in the file, that type of stuff. So we can review all that stuff a lot easier because we've got an application like, say, Revit, that the model's been produced in to assist us with this. And this is the key part of our reports, of any reports in any project that you'll be working on. And assuming all that stuff's done properly and managed properly, then you're going to end up with outputs like this. So this is one of our biggest projects that we've worked on, and two of the Squad UK members, the previous students of the Worldskills competitions, had the privilege of working on this project. So we sent them over to Basel office in Switzerland for a few months at the end of last year and start of this year to actually work on this. So they got put up for free in Switzerland. So I'm pretty lucky to be able to work on projects like this. And they were key drivers in the BIM coordination when it comes to this project. And if it wasn't for this process, you can see from the complexity of this would be a nightmare to do in 2D if it had to get done. So we've also got the benefit of being able to use this model to do energy analysis, solar studies, structural analysis, all that type of information is embedded there, and it allows you to do this. And as you can see here on the left, this is at the same project. On the left is the as-built assets, the photos taken on site, and the right is the Navisworks model at handover. So you can see the accuracy of this. It is pretty much the highest level of detail you can imagine, even down to the position of the valves and their operating areas. So benefits and BIM uses, just a couple of things here I just wanted to touch on. So once all that information is there, there's huge benefits you can take from that, whether it's 4D construction sequencing and phasing, setting out site logistics like you can see here. This is hugely important to contractors at bidding stage especially, and when it comes to prior to starting on site, to augmented reality, virtual reality, producing fly-through animations, to 360-degree images. So this is a project worked on, and this is done quite often throughout the industry. Bloomsbury Theatre down in London has a big revamp done in the last couple of years. We were lucky enough to be the BIM information managers on it, and part of that, once we had the federated model, we used the cloud rendering feature that Autodesk offer to do 360 renders of some of the key areas in the seating and the balcony areas. So they produced these tickets for a few of the kind of kick-off shows with the QR codes of the areas that the seats are going to be in, which is pretty interesting. So it works. You can scan that QR code just now with your phone if you've downloaded an app, or if you've got an iPhone or that, I think it just works naturally with the camera anyway. But it should take you to a 360 view of setting up in the gods at the Bloomsbury Theatre. So if you've never seen it, it's pretty interesting. It's quite a really nice revamp that they've done of the building. So it's good use of the technology, getting printers and tickets at this. And to cap off why we are so invested in these competitions, so Baker Hicks are committed to the Worldskills UK competitions and this challenge because essentially you guys are our future employees, and that's the way we look at this, and that's why we have quite a big involvement in this. So off the back of the previous competitions, so over the last 2 years, we've employed 4 students from the competitions into Baker Hicks, into different disciplines. So we've got a couple in the BIM discipline. One's actually working down on our secure projects for AWE, which is pretty interesting. And we've got one, Mona, who's on here actually on the panel, is working in the building services department, and we've got someone else working in the structural department as well. So all areas we're taking people, because we know the skill level that you've got to compete in these competitions, because they're not easy. We have input into the development of these competitions, so they are geared towards real life scenarios, challenges and workflows that you're 100% going to face in your day-to-day lives when you're working in the AEC industry. The commitment and the link that we have with New College Lanarkshire and multiple other educational establishments throughout the UK, they're so important to us, because Michael McGuire, the Squad UK team leader, was actually my lecturer at college a few years ago as well. And if it wasn't for him and his dedication to and commitment to engaging with industry to make sure that the content in his courses and classes that he's teaching are aligning with what's actually happening in industry, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So these types of competitions and being involved in this stuff is a key part to your employability going forward when you leave college or university. So to finish up, as most of you will be maybe looking for employment, Baker Hicks have a graduate, postgraduate and apprenticeship scheme that we do. So by all means, if it's something you're interested in, you can go onto our website, bakerhicks.com/careers. If you just search in the wee search bar up the top for 2021, I think is the first hit as the graduates, a similar photo you see on screen here. But it'll give you more information about it. We're recruiting for the 2021 just now, and it's every department. So whether it's BIM, structures, process, whatever it is that you want to do. We have offices throughout the whole of the UK. So if you're London based, Manchester based, Scotland based, whatever, there are opportunities. So feel free to have a look through that information, and if it's something you're interested in, I'd encourage you to apply for it. And I'd like to finish off just with a well done to everybody, like I says, that's took part in the challenge, and a big congratulations to the winner once it's announced later on. Thanks very much, everybody.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Alisder, for sharing your insights and joining our panel for today. Next up, I would introduce you to Dee. Dee, could you shortly introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what Worldskills is and the opportunity of Worldskills?
Brilliant, thank you, Philip. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dee. I'm Head of National Competitions and Careers at Worldskills UK, and I'm really delighted to be here today to tell you a little bit about who we are and just join this great event virtually. So well done to everyone that's taken part. But just to give you a bit of context, Worldskills UK is part of Worldskills, which is a movement that really consists of over 80 member organisations throughout the world. Worldskills UK itself, here in the UK, we are an independent charity, and we're a partnership between employers, education and government. And together, collectively, we are raising standards in both apprenticeships and technical education so that actually more people do get the best start to work and life. Currently, we are driving forward an excellence at work agenda, and that really falls into three areas. The first is for us to inspire excellence. So what's really important to us is to engage young people into thinking about careers within technical and apprenticeship routeways. The next is for us to innovate and to take and mainstream that global excellence and embed it back into the UK curriculum. And finally, we are all about developing excellence. And really what's important for us is that we develop young people by testing and assessing their skills and knowledge, and most importantly against their peers throughout the UK, both nationally and internationally. So essentially what you've all gone through as well, so it's very familiar to you now, we really recognise and really value that whole process. So what's really important to us is that actually, you know, that develops the quality of work and the quality of work that you produce, but also it boosts your confidence. So essentially everything that we do through our national and international competition programmes enables young people to excel further in their day-to-day development, in their employability, and also within their personal confidence. So we take all of that global excellence and embed that global best practice to really drive the standards of the national competition programme. And really that programme consists of 3 stages. And as Philip showed earlier, the culmination of that is normally at Live, which is a physical event happening around about now. So we're really gutted not to see that this year. However, you know, for us, we look forward to the 2021 competition, and those 3 stages will be kicking off with registrations round about early New Year. So really, we welcome all of you to really get registered, get involved, so that actually we can welcome you at those regional heats come spring 2021. So just really leaves me to say, well done to everyone. Absolutely, no matter what the result is tonight, you've been absolutely fantastic to go through what sounded like a very, very testing competition, and just, yeah, really well done. And yeah, fingers crossed, and well done to everyone to take part.
Thank you very much, Dee, and thank you for joining us today. That was really, really great. I would hand it over to Michael McGuire. Michael, can you shortly introduce yourself? And yeah.
My name is Michael McGuire. Oh, did it stop? I'm a lecturer, as you heard, from New College, Lanarkshire in Motherwell. And there we go. I'm also the training manager for the UK squad at Worldskills UK. Before I went into education, I worked in construction. I worked as a structural steel fabricator, and a lot of my beliefs in education actually still kind of stem from what I learned personally. I was going to talk a bit about the competition actually today and why I had actually got involved in it. And standing, I suppose, behind me there pretty much is exactly the reason why. I had a lot of really excellent students. We had great success in our college already. At New College Lanarkshire, we had already topped the league table in terms of medals that we had won. And we had a laboratory technician, mechanical engineering, CAD and IT software had already been very successful in the Worldskills competitions. I saw from that the employment opportunities that students were gaining. I saw how it also accelerated their careers. You'll hear again You've heard about employment, you've heard from Alisder, you've heard from Dee, how Worldskills actually accelerates, or competition-based excellence accelerates young people's careers. The tagline I always bought into that I thought was perfect, which was the go further faster. Let's look at giving young people the training that they actually deserve, give them the training very quickly that the industry are actually needing and looking for. So most of the people here should already have heard of Worldskills or should have heard of the competitions. I'm thinking most of the students that did compete are also here looking for me to hurry up and finish so that we can get to the next few slides that are a little bit more interesting. They're all waiting to see who has won, who's done what. But there are 7 steps really to taking part, which would be, I'm going to give a little bit more detail on them, but expressing your interest, register, prepare for competition, actually compete. We will then announce finalists, who is to proceed to the national final itself, and again a bit of celebration, actually celebrating success. It's not all about the winning. One of the things that I have heard a lot of students saying, particularly this year, is the training itself definitely is one of the better reasons maybe even to get involved. We heard quotes from people actually saying, I don't like to finish second, I don't want to finish second. But actually the training that people have gone through this year has been excellent. We have noticed a huge uptake in that. So round about between March to April time, so we have Worldskills competitions. If you've registered your interest, you'll then be informed of the registration opening round about March time, in which case most of the students that are in any digital construction course can actually apply to participate in, for us, the building and information modelling competition. But if there are other competitions that you're interested in, then equally that's what we would look at. What competition would suit you and your skill? So Worldskills UK don't have any age limits, but what they do have, we can see, is a UK entry criteria of the competitions themselves are kind of intended for people who are in studying or training with up to 4 years experience. That experience should be education based. So you're either in education or you are in apprenticeship training. You could have some combined experience there where we have industry in there as well. However, you need to have studied within the last 12 months, and it says a level 6 degree, which is an English level qualification, but we're looking at a degree to honours level. Anything more than that, then you are not really meeting the criteria. So as you see, it's definitely intended for people who are within their training. So we can look at the stage 3 for that. Once you've registered, then you will be preparing yourself, or students if you're an educator, for the upcoming training, upcoming competition. And Autodesk, in collaboration with New College Lanarkshire, have created almost 30 video tutorials, full data sets for every task, all of the competition instruction documents, BIM execution plan, etc. Absolutely everything that would be expected of a student during a competition. So this BIM box set, you can see a kind of image on the right hand side, some of the title slides that are available. So the task instructions, the BIM execution plan, BIM 360 common data environment, etc. And every one is a short, roughly approximately 5-minute long video, taking you through a step in the competition. So you can watch that like any other box set. You can binge box set that, or you can watch it while you're traveling to or from your education on the train. So once you are ready and it comes round to May or June time, we have a 1-day national qualifier competition. Now, for all of the students that have competed in the Digital Construction Challenge, it is very, very similar. It is a 1-day long competition for 5 hours. It would be based on a small scale project. You've all been during that competition. For those that competed, you guys know. For everybody else that's logged in, you won't know what they did, but they created a few different Revit volumes. So we were looking at some Revit architectural modelling. We looked at your knowledge of ISO 19650 parts 1 and 2. We looked at how you were able to identify and follow project-specific naming conventions, ISO standard naming conventions. Students during that competition would be expected to validate work in progress models and share that with other multidiscipline specialists. All of that would be getting done within BIM 360, where we would be also adding things like classification from Uniclass 2015, COBE data, we're taking data into the model, taking data back from the model, and using Navisworks Manage to perform collision detections and quality assure our model. Now, I've put on there that it's a one-day competition, which it is. It's a national qualifier. That basically same competition happened this year as the Digital Construction Challenge, the 100% fully remote competition. So a learning experience for us on the management side. Looking at it before, there are some of the photographs from London Autodesk University, where it happened usually on a physical face-to-face. I'm sure everybody's struggling to remember what physical face-to-face even looked like, but there would have been the competition for London Autodesk University. And I think that's one of the things I've really enjoyed about being involved is Autodesk haven't backed away from Worldskills competitions or the training or the employability. It's put right into the heart. So even with the backing of let's create some video tutorials and data sets, but actually let's put this virtually, let's introduce this to every education institution in the UK. But even when they had it last year and it was in the heart of Autodesk University, I think that speaks quite loudly of just how much backing and faith Autodesk have in our competition. So after the one-day competition, obviously we have, at this point, we are drawing to a close with the Digital Construction Challenge. There is no national final. However, it has kind of been like a national final. We've had all of the students pitted up against each other. The finalists normally around about July time would be announced. Here are the top 8, 9 or 10 performers from all of the scores. So all the education institutions that would take part, every student would put together in a list and see who are the top 8, 9, 10 scores for that, of which you would be invited to attend the national final. Again, further training opportunities would be provided, and any, if we look at it and say any skills gaps would be assessed. So here's a good example, and I'm sure Alisder will smile, because Alisder did tell you he is a past student of mine from quite a while ago, quite so many years ago. And the person stood at the front in the grey shirt is Mark. And Mark also was a past student of mine, and he was in Alisder's class. And now he works alongside Alisder in the BIM team at Baker Hicks. And he was, again, part of the competition organising team, part of the judging team. And here he is. He's actually away down to one of the universities at London, where they put a few of the universities from London together and were offered training. So again, Autodesk just backing up that if there are any skills gaps, the national final is a bigger competition. You've had training that has steered you towards a national qualifier. If there is anything else missing, then we can look at that and address it. So in November, Dee did say, around about this time, we normally have Worldskills Live, a national final. It would be for BIM a 2-day competition, so 2 solid days. There are other skills that you're being assessed on, but very often the biggest difference is it is a huge, I cannot emphasize enough the scale of the project that you'd be asked to model, but it's a very interesting large scale commercial model. We would look at some other elements, so let's introduce complex modeling elements like, let's look at a curved staircase, for example. In the competition this year, you were provided grids, a geospatial grids file, but in the national final, when we have more time, then we'll look at, could you create the grids file? Can you set up project coordinates? Can you create the structural model? So working from structural work in progress, you are, for maybe the first 4 hours, the structural engineer, creating those drawings and then validate and share. And for the second half of the day, possibly the architectural team. So we'll look at introducing other little elements like family creation within Revit, working to 8541, Part 1, for example, can you remember how to name families? And then we also introduce a really nice part, second half of the second day, visualization. So using Revit again for visualization, we're looking at Enscape or some of the software that we would use for that. They're really nice, interesting, I suppose, nice to grab the attention of people walking past. So we spoke about it being at Worldskills Live, where the top 10 performers are. And during that performance, you all know how hard it was to sit and concentrate in your house or office or wherever you were. Can you imagine doing that in a venue where there are 75,000 kids, school kids, who are there because it's the largest careers fair in the UK? They're all there wondering, what's BIM? What's digital construction? What is bricklaying, stonemasonry, hairdressing, beauty therapy, welding? What are all these skills and how do I get involved? So while you're competing, there's 530 people there who are competing. The top 8, 9, 10 are in BIM, while 75,000 people walk within 2 meters of you, round about you, looking to see just exactly what BIM is. And the focus that's needed for that, there we go. So the focus that's needed to that, to actually just focus on the tasks. You've got a complex stairway model, but there's 75,000 people walking past you. And there's some good photos. Everybody's smiling. I've said for the very start, I hope you have all enjoyed the training. I hope you all have enjoyed the competition. Yep, the pressure increases. You go to national final and it's 2 days long. There are many more tasks and quite complex tasks. But look at the fun. Every single person is still having fun. And that's how we know we've had a successful competition. So after that, national final, again, the pressure is actually on the judges. There are 10, 8, 9, 10 people who have submitted all of their work, and Alisder and Gary from Baker Hicks will sit in their little booth. They never see the 75 or however many thousand people. They never see them all. They're always in their little judges booth, actually marking all the work. But at the end of that, we need to have winners. And so the top 3, where it's a gold medal, a silver medal, and a bronze medal, we can see there on the top right, we have Viral, Sophie, and Darren, who had the medals for that year. But then you have everybody else that's competed and taken part. And it's not just the end of the journey. So I had put there, it is the end of the journey for some, but actually there's a bigger thing than just the medals. Yes, you had training. Yes, you've made friends. Yes, you've been competing, but actually you're part of an education institution. You're part of an alumni. You have to now look at all the training you had. How can you help next year's group from your college or your university? So can you go back? Can you be a mentor? You have access to that training. You know how to problem solve it. You've had access to a training manager and Autodesk training from the judges. Can you maybe get involved? Can you help your educators that got you involved, the ones that were inspiring for you? So it's the biggest thing I would look for is just that kind of feedback. I didn't know Alisder was going to use that photo, so we've kind of doubled up. Alisder and I have used Baker Hicks's tweet. And for me, it's the very first slide I mentioned employment. I don't need to dwell on it, but we work with so many employers, and the reason companies work with us is you are their talent pool. Straight away, there was the plug, Alisder at the end of his. Would you like a job? We are running a graduate scheme. That's why they're involved with Worldskills. They're looking for employees. You are the best digital construction, architectural technologists, BIM masters, whatever it is that you're doing. You're the best in the UK. You're in this competition. After the national final, I did say that Worldskills don't have an age limit and we're just looking at an experience. But Worldskills International do have an age limit. And what tends to happen after the national final is each skill invites the best 3 young people in their competition to be part of Worldskills UK squad. And that's it there. This is the most recent one. This is Squad UK. And in that, there are 3 people who are competing to be the best BIM, digital construction person in the UK. Okay, so what we would look at is a competition every couple of years. And we would be looking at Shanghai in 2021. Shanghai has actually just been postponed to 2022. And we've spoken about what all these competitions are and how big they are and how long they are. But look at all these people coming in, like an athlete. representing the Team UK, and I can actually see one of my students in there who was representing Team UK for mechanical engineering CAD. But in that are BIM, a BIM person, a beauty therapist, a tiler, a welder, all of these skills are all represented. Now, I've mentioned what the competition was for one day. I've mentioned what the competition was for 2 days. The competition goes to 4 days at international level. And I've only listed a couple of things, but it's because you do everything. You do absolutely everything that you did in day one, but you do it on huge projects, massive projects. And we do the same day two, but the skills get much more complex. And we're also introducing things like Timeliner within Navisworks. So you're creating a 4D BIM model. You'll be asked to create 4D animation, but everything else, that knowledge of ISO 19650 Part 1, the use of BIM 360 to coordinate, the use of Navisworks Manage, none of that goes away. You do absolutely everything again. So hopefully we've whetted your appetite, and I will hand back over to Phil.
Thank you very much, Michael, for the great overview and sharing really what the Worldskills opportunity is. Next, I want to hand it over to Mona. Mona, can you shortly present your perspective from a student's point of view?
Well, hi guys. My name is Minahil Nawaz, but everyone knows me as Mona, mostly because it's a lot easier to say. So currently I am one of the Squad UK members. So me, along with Darren Houston and Connor Patterson, are being trained under our training manager, who is Michael McGuire, and we're pretty much competing against each other to get the chance to compete in Shanghai on behalf of the UK, which is obviously such an amazing opportunity. So how did I get involved with the whole Worldskills thing? So I have this problem where I am really bad at saying no to any opportunity that comes across to me. So anytime someone mentions, do you want to do this or do you want to take part in this event, I'm always up for it. So studying in the college, doing my HNC, HND, I loved learning about BIM. So obviously when Michael mentioned this amazing opportunity to compete with Worldskills, of course, I said yes. So starting off, we took part in the regional competition. So I've just put a wee photo of our 15-minute prep time of looking at our BEP and also instructions that we can take a look at. Very concentrated there, which I actually really like that part, getting to look over the BEP and we get to sit and highlight everything. It is obviously competing is stressful and there's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I feel like it's very enjoyable because when you think you've gotten something right, there's a wee bit of a buzz as well. So, oh, someone's message just came up. I can't hit next slide. Oh, sorry. So overall, Worldskills, I feel like throughout the journey, I've been through all of the steps from the regional competition. Now that I do think about the regional competition, I think it's so easy compared to what we got given at nationals. And it's just the fact that now I am able to do that as well. So obviously after the regional competition, I did have a bit of a thing where I thought I'd done really badly, but later on found out that I was one of the top 10 students that get to go to the national competition, which obviously I was extremely excited about. As you can see in my wee picture, I'm so happy at the train station. So it's 3 days that we're at the NEC, 2 days for competing and 1 day with the opportunity to speak to a bunch of students that may be interested in doing BIM, don't know. So it's first 2 days, it is very difficult, especially given the fact there are so many people everywhere. And as a person that I do get distracted quite easily, that was something I had to learn as well, that I had to concentrate and just focus on my work. So that's me trying to focus very hard. And obviously you can do anything that helps you focus. So playing music. So I had music downloaded, having tons of snacks that you can see in the background, all the sweets and sugar that would keep me motivated to keep going on. So overall, Nationals was an amazing experience as well. Obviously, after the first 2 days of competing and going through the competition, I really loved, my favorite part of it was the third day, where we got to speak to all the students, because I find it interesting that something that we do on a regular basis, these students are completely new to it. And like, for example, we were showing them how Revit works and modeling a building and how some of the rendering stuff works. There was one person that I spoke to that found it so interesting that some of the clash detections using Nawaz works, they just found it absolutely amazing, like so complex. Whereas obviously we who have learned a bit of this don't find it as difficult. So it's interesting to see people that don't really know much about it as well, getting to know it. So we've got the nice group photo. That's what happens when you go forth. Everyone's already got the photos that I'm using. So national competition, it's really nice. It's a really good environment as well. Everybody is really nice. Like, obviously we're competing with each other, but you can talk to so many people, and it's such a good opportunity to meet people as well. So after that, I got the chance to join Squad UK because I came under the age limit, and so lucky to have that opportunity. So this was one of the first training events that we had, it was our Back to Basics training weekend, and we got to go with a few other competitions and squad members and do a Back to Basics training, because obviously before you learn more, you need to have a foundation that you can build up from. A little bit like when you're in construction, you need a good foundation for the building to stand. So, this was an amazing weekend. Not just learning about BIM on the side of it, that you get to meet so many amazing people. So many people in this photo I speak to every other day because they've become such good friends as well. And even like getting to know a bit about, for example, I got to learn a bit about cybersecurity while telling somebody else about BIM. And this is all of us in line to get the opportunity to sign a British flag. That it's pretty much the idea of that we're this big team and we're all teammates and we're all working together to reach the same goal. And it's just a very positive environment. Something with Squad UK is they keep it very professional to the point. We get training managers, we get performance coaches, and we get all these different people who are supporting us to do our best, whether it be for competing in our competitions and even giving us advice for daily life as well. For example, my training manager, Michael, he talks us through lots of stuff, obviously on the BIM side of it, but we have performance coaches who teach us about imagery, how to keep imagery pretty much to keep ourselves motivated, a way to imagine ourselves on a stage winning a gold medal, and how to use that in a positive aspect. Health and well-being, we even get taught how we can stay healthier and how to keep our mind healthier, which obviously does not work for me. As you saw my desk at the Nationals event, I had so much chocolate there. So also team building exercises. It isn't just training. We get to do a bunch of team building exercises where we get to mix it up with different people from squad who are in, for example, I could be speaking to someone from hairdressing, and that even helps out with a new perspective to things in a way. Also, for example, we have pressure tests. For example, we had to do pressure tests a few weeks ago as assigned from our performance coaches, where we had to do something to get ourselves out of our comfort zone, and preferably something that was not part of our skill. So most embarrassing thing, I did mine's on climbing up to the top of a rope pyramid that I had always been terrified of since I was a kid, and I got to video it, and it's the idea of having the experiences of it that you need to, like, thinking that you're going to fail about something, how do you motivate yourself to actually reach the top? So Worldskills has brought a lot of opportunities for me. For example, I have had the opportunities to work for Baker Hicks, which has been absolutely amazing, being someone that left high school, went to college, and leaving college and knowing that I wasn't going to be able to go to university. A job was something that I was very afraid I wasn't going to have. So getting a job with Baker Hicks has been an absolute dream come true. And it is an amazing company to work with as well, if anybody is thinking of the whole graduate scheme thing, because I know I have enjoyed and learned so much being there. So also, I guess COVID has put a wee bit of a halt on everybody's situations, but we have been working through it, where we've had monthly training sessions with Michael, and we pretty much do calls with Michael over Zoom, and we have little training sessions and small competitions. It's actually a lot of fun, like working as well, because we get really competitive sometimes. Especially me, I think I get a little too competitive sometimes, where we're trying to find every little mark, that even after things get marked, we'll go back and take a look at it again and try and see if we've missed any points and we can get some points back. So yeah, I was trying to keep that quite short because I'm pretty sure everybody wants to find out who's won. But yeah, it's an amazing experience, and I would highly recommend competing next year for anyone who is interested. And I'll hand that back over to Phil.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mona. And I think you just need to mute yourself. Right, perfect. So as you've probably seen, we're running a little bit late. So I think we'll probably be able to finish everything 15 minutes past 8. I hope this is okay for everybody. In case you have to leave, we are recording this session and we'll share this later on. So Billy, you're up next. Could you shortly introduce yourself and dive into the topic of certification?
Thanks, Philip. Can everyone hear me okay? Excellent. I think first of all, thanks very much for the opportunity to join everyone virtually here this evening. I just wanted to say a quick well done to Philip Muller and to Autodesk and to all involved in organising this competition. And most importantly, a massive congratulations to all our participants who have entered. I've had a look there at some of the work that's been done, and it's absolutely fantastic. So just to kind of briefly give you a quick introduction to myself, Billy Breen is my name, and I'm the Senior Territory Manager for a company called Prodigy Learning. And we're a global edtech business with offices in Dublin, London, Sydney, and New York. We provide various skills and certification programs and learning solutions on behalf of key vendors, such as Autodesk and other key vendors. The certification programs that we provide are industry recognized qualifications, which help to improve users' skills in various applications. They provide job-ready skills and help to enhance employability and productivity in the various applications. We're responsible, and I've been very fortunate to work with Philip for the last year and a half. We manage the Autodesk skills and certification business across Europe for Autodesk and are responsible for the delivery and the management of the Autodesk certification programs. And so today I'm going to be giving you a quick overview on the Autodesk certification. So I always like to start off by giving you a quick snapshot of some of the institutes delivering Autodesk certification here in the UK. I think it's very important to highlight, the great work of all the students, but most importantly to highlight, the lecture staff and the course leaders who drive Autodesk certifications within these various institutes, as they are the backbone of the success of the Autodesk certification programs within the institutes here in the UK. So I suppose a question that I would typically get whenever I'm talking about Autodesk certification is, why Autodesk certification and why should I do Autodesk certification? So it's quite simple, really. I suppose one of the most important things is that it validates a user's skills in the key Autodesk applications. Not only can you prove that you use it, but you've also got a certificate, highlighting that it's proven to increase productivity and efficiency in the Autodesk applications. It will make you better. We've also got micro-credentials are also growing globally, and this has become even more important as a result of COVID-19. And I suppose micro-credentials and certification help us in addressing the digital skills gap that currently exists. And I think the biggest point to highlight is certification enhances employment opportunities. And when we look at the next slide, I think building on employment opportunity, recent surveys showed that 40% of employers report difficulty in finding skilled job applicants, for roles that they need filled. I think Michael had mentioned there a moment ago in his presentation about being able to stand out. And a great way, being involved in the Worldskills and also having certification as well is a fantastic way to differentiate yourself in the job market from others applying for the jobs, and being able to highlight to potential employers that you have the skills required to do the jobs that they're asking, and being able to prove it, on your CV when applying for those jobs. So let's take a look at the certification programs from Autodesk. So with the Autodesk certification programs, you have two programs. There's two pathways. You've got the Autodesk Certified User Program, and you have the Autodesk Certified Professional Program. The Autodesk Certified User Program typically sits at college level, at third level education, whereas the Autodesk Certified Professional is more for advanced users and for people who will be on the job experience. So with the Autodesk Certified User Program, you've got various applications. You've got Autodesk Revit, you've got AutoCAD, Inventor, Fusion 360, Maya, 3ds Max, so a lot of the Autodesk applications, as we can see there. And at the professional level, then it's also building on that again from the user level certification. You've got Revit for architectural design, structural design. You can see there you've also got AutoCAD design drafting, Civil 3D, Inventor for mechanical design. And it's also great to see that there's more exams also coming out in that area. We've also got exams for Revit electrical and mechanical design coming soon. I think the big thing with all the Autodesk certification is that it's modular based certification, so that for each application or module that a student does, a user, they're getting certified. So they're getting a Microsoft certificate, they're getting a certificate for every application that they do. So if you were to do the Revit exam, you're going to receive an Autodesk Revit certificate. And not only do you get a certificate, you also get a digital badge. And these can be posted on social media, on your LinkedIn profiles. So firstly, we're going to look at the Autodesk Certified User Program, which is typically offered there at institution level. The certification, it involves embedding it typically into the actual college course curriculum and having the college set up as an authorized Certiport testing center. The exams for the user level they're live in the application exam, so you really get to work with the software within these. And the requirement of hours to be used is approximately 150 hours of hands-on experience with the product or application that you'll be using from the Autodesk suite. And when we look at the Revit exam, some of the competence areas that they use, that are assessed are creating and modifying components, modeling and modifying elements, managing views, and managing documentation. So in helping students to prepare for these exams and putting it into practice within an institute, we have a 4-stage pathway. It starts off with a skills analysis of a user, helping a user to actually, do a skills assessment, see what kind of level they are at within the various applications. Once they got the results, the actual software will generate a custom training based on the user's needs and requirements and what they need to learn. You've got some learning solutions then, such as the Geometrics, LearnKey, which is kind of video training. You've also got courseware there from Wiley and kind of helping to prepare students for their Autodesk exams. As they progress through, you've also got the practice test before they actually do the certified exam itself, ensuring that they're at a level where they're going to be able to go and actually sit their Autodesk exam. And the final stage is getting any end user to go and sit the Autodesk exams. So the Autodesk exams are 70% to pass and they're live in the application. When a student passes the exam, they will receive a certificate and they will also receive a digital badge. We're also then going to look at the Autodesk Certified Professional exams. So these are for your more advanced users and require a lot more hours. It's a minimum of 400 hours or 2 years hands-on experience with the product, and is typically done by people in industry looking to, develop their skills more through CPD, but also for our advanced users then as well within college, And when we look at the competence areas again within the Autodesk Certified Professional at Revit level, we're looking there at modeling materials being assessed, families, documentations, views, and then we're getting into more detail such as Revit project management as we work through the various skills and certification there to prepare, for this exam. So I suppose it was great to see today that, and I'm delighted to, follow up there on what Philip had said earlier, that all participants in today's competition are also going to be receiving a Autodesk exam and will be able to have the opportunity to sit the Autodesk Certified Professional exam themselves. So there's some great resources available for the Autodesk Certified Professional exam. These can be accessed on Autodesk's website, and this will help you to prepare for your exam within Revit. Once you're prepared to sit the exam, you will then be able to actually do the exam from home, online, through Pearson VUE's on-view texting platform at a time that suits yourself. Once you've done the exam and all going well, we'll hope that you'll have a smile on your face and that you have passed the exam. You'll receive an Autodesk certificate, but you'll also be able to claim and to prove and highlight the skill a digital badge, which can be placed on your LinkedIn profile. And you'll be able to put this up. This is claimed through a claim, and you'll then be able to share this on social media platforms such as LinkedIn and other social media platforms. Now that's it from myself. I just want to say thanks a million for the opportunity to speak to everyone today virtually. And please feel free to reach out to myself if you have any questions around the certification once you receive your complimentary vouchers there in the coming weeks. And I'd be happy to assist you with that. And I want to say again, well done to everyone who has participated in the competition. And we wish everyone the very best of luck with the finals. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass you back to Philip now.
Thank you very much, Billy, for the presentation. And thank you also to all the speakers. So I will shortly going to share my screen. So that should be coming up in a second. So just to quickly summarize as next steps. So I hope you have your mobile phone ready to scan QR codes. So as next step, if you have been getting interest into participating in next year's Worldskills UK BIM competition, you can already today register your interest. So you can scan the QR code here, and that takes you to the website where you can directly register your interest. Also, I know that we have some participants here who are not from the UK. So if you're not from the UK, Worldskills, as Dee mentioned, is in about 85 other countries. So we recommend to reach out to your local representatives from Worldskills and explore if this competition is already offered or if it can be offered in the future. You can also scan the QR code here. In that case, that takes you to the Worldskills international website. Last but not least, I just want to share also the opportunity of Autodesk University Virtual. Autodesk University Virtual is the Autodesk's largest training event in the world. So you have the opportunity to join 85,000 people, I think, are now registered for the event and learn within over 560 classes the best of the best what the industry has to offer. This is all for free. So if you like, we invite you to join us for the event. It's going to happen from November 17th to 20th. And on the 17th, there are keynotes. And then there is on-demand recorded sessions, which you can then consume whenever you choose to. Then also, as Billy mentioned, there is learning materials for the certifications, which the participants of this Autodesk Digital Construction Challenge will receive. We also encourage you to scan that if you have interest to learn about the different topics which are going to be covered in the Autodesk Certified Professional exam. Then in 2 to 3 weeks, the places 1 to 3 will receive the prizes as well as a trophy, and places 1 to 25 will receive an exam voucher. So please watch out for this, 2 to 3 weeks until we're able to provide this to you. And then there is another great highlight for us is the communication of the success of the event, which is going to take place in the 2nd week of December. So not November, because that would be already this week. So it's the 2nd week of December. With that, I'm almost closing and handing over to the different panelists to announce the winners. One thing I would ask the winners plus the educators of the institutions to stay online, because we are shortly going to take a couple of interviews. Already, with that, we're going to start with the 3rd place. So Billy, can you shortly open the envelope?
Yes, absolutely, Philip. So I'm just going to bring up my screen here to open the envelope. In 3rd place, we have Desislava Vileva of Middlesex University. Congratulations to Desislava.
Big congratulations. Thank you very much, Desislava, also for participating in the competition. Now we're going to announce the 2nd place. So Dee, do you want to announce the 2nd place?
Thanks, Philip. I'm just getting the envelope handed to me. I hope you're all doing a drum roll. And in 2nd place, we have Brock and Tanner from Oxford Brookes University. Well done, Brock.
Big congratulations, Brooke. And next up, we have the 1st place, so the winner of the competition. Alisder, would you announce or open your envelope?
Thanks, Phil. So we have our envelope here. Again, hope we've got a drum roll. So the winner is Pavel Kados. Congratulations, Pavel. Well done.
Big congratulations. So really thank you very much for participating and showing your great excellence and really working through the tutorials and showing the opportunity which you can also deliver great excellence over virtual. So thanks very much to our panelists. Thanks very much to everybody who joined us. Thanks very much for the educators sharing the opportunity of that competition. And in this perspective, I say thanks everybody, and we'll see each other, if you like, at Worldskills UK BIM competition soon.